How live are we? 1 second. We should be louder. Yep. There we go. All right. Hello. It is. I believe we're live. It says we're gone. Okay. Hello. Let me get a tweet sent out right quick saying we're live. Yeah. All right. Hello, Eli. Good morning. Happy second Sunday after Epiphany. I don't know what that means, but welcome, Eli. Welcome, Lay. How's everybody doing this weekend? Where's my color thing? Welcome, Cosmo Comic. I'm cold. I am also cold. I'm moving around a lot as to generate more body heat. I was kind of just upstairs, not feeling too good. And within like a half an hour, just sort of pulled my mood together. And got a bunch of energy, made some food. And was like, yeah, I feel like if I just sat up here, I'd just be cold and sad. I'm not gonna fucking do anything. So like lightning was just like, I'm gonna make this a challenge. I'm gonna set up stream like right now. And got down here and was like, yeah, all I really gotta do is put some sample synth stuff together, so I can do that. Let me get my cable out of here so I can use it for my synth. If it is in here, where is it? If I don't have a USB, I'm gonna flip. I just started. There's something in here. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's the Moon Oracle deck. Okay. I'll be right back. I need a printer cable for this keyboard I'm using here. Alright, back. Phone says it's 11 outside? Yeah, it's, oh god, what is it here? It is, okay, it's 21 degrees now. It was 5 degrees this morning. So that was fun. Alright. So I got some stuff to talk about. First thing is, oh boy. I gotta make sure I'm ready to start, like, my spiels before I jump into them. Alright. Where's my color light thing? I need it. I need it to be lit. I must be lit. I do not miss Indiana winters. God, Indiana's probably really dry, isn't it? Alright. Move all this shit out of the way. It was rainy yesterday. Oh well. Oh, yeah, it was like raining and snowing here yesterday, and there's a gutter in the back that just sort of spills water into the back alley, and then it like gets below freezing. Wait, let me put myself up. Yeah, here I am. Yeah, then it gets it. So there's this it was leaking in the studio, and my dad diverted it. And now because there's water leaking down, now because there's snow melt leaking down into the fucking alleyway, now we have the problem of the alleyway getting super slicked up by ice, and becoming a hazard. I might have to go out there with some salt later. Don't want people slipping and falling on their ass. Alright, we're 8 minutes in. I'm pretty sure I didn't say fuck in the first 3 minutes. So I think I should be good. I don't even think that really, like, matters. For, like, long-form content. My ads seem to be okay. Like, I don't get any YouTube things saying, like, inappropriate content if I say fuck too fast. But I've heard that's supposedly a thing on YouTube. Anyway, I'm rambling. So it's Sunday. I have spent the week basically sorting and taking inventory of this stuff that's in an empty, or what should be this stuff that's in like an unused loft space that doesn't have any way to get up to it besides just a ladder. And there's tons of boxes of old craft supplies up there. Like there was a craft store here at some point, and there was a craft store here at some point that closed in maybe 97, and there's packages of, you know, a bunch of bulk craft supplies, but also a bunch of like brand new stuff in packaging. And so we're gonna be doing a kind of 21st century rummage sale dealio, where I got pictures of everything. I should have loaded the pictures up on stream. I can't pull them up on here. I might be able to. While I tell this story, I'm gonna have to. Is this started up? Yeah, I'm gonna send myself the pictures on Discord, so I can show the chat what kind of merchandise we're talking about here. But it's mostly things that, like, that's the thing, is basically if we sold everything from up in there, there's like little ceramic, like Easter bunny shit. There's like these little wooden crafts and like painted things, just the kind of knickknacks that you would find in like the things between the aisles at Hobby Lobby that just have a bunch of like decorative stuff on them. The things that you would find, you know, in your grandma's house. Basically, it was called Grandma's Attic, was the name of the store. But since a lot of it's new still, and, you know, we're not, we didn't put any money into it, like, we're just going to see if we can trade all of that storage space, or we're going to see if we can trade all of that stuff for storage space and money, basically. Because, you know, if you put a thing on Craigslist being like, yeah, we got like 100 wooden rabbits. There's like a, you know, wooden Afghan rack with a heart on it and shit. If you want it, come take it. Like, some people will go for that shit. Some people, you know, that's their whole deal. They collect weird stuff that, you know, they collect weird, cutesy, kitschy animal shit. And, I would gladly be a vessel to getting people further in their collections for very cheap. So, that's one thing that's going on. Another thing that's going on is, oh wait, it was, okay. Being a very bad presenter. I put up Pan Chapter 6 this week, and if I get through all if I get through all the stuff that I want to do before, maybe like 4:30, I might actually just do a reading of Pan 6. Even though I haven't done this for any of them before, this is particularly the chapter that I enjoyed writing the most and also think is the most, like, exemplary of this story so far. So, I might get to that later this stream, but if you just want to read it, it's case.dog/pan. Most of you in the chat probably have already seen it. Oh, I didn't tell Discord. I gotta do that. Gonna be doing samples and synth patches and making something with them, and the drum kit I beatboxed last stream. Alright, and then where's the... Oh, I don't want to do tunnel vision. Live streaming. Yeah, that doesn't need to be gone. Here. That. Go. Alright. Oh, it's gonna link it anyway. Whatever. Now it's real tall. Now the announcement's real tall. Alright. Alright. So, let's get into this. Is there anything else I want to talk about? There's one thing I might do on this stream, for shits and giggles. If I get... I might do on this stream. Hey, stop. If I get too far into this and, you know, don't have anything to... If I get too far into this and I've done all the stuff I want to do, still have time left, there was a tweet that I kind of want to fuck around with. Where is it? Where is it? Here. My brain is very insistently singing Hotel California to the tune of Through the Fire and Flames. I kind of want to record this. I think cause like I can hear this and I think I could do it. So I might do that at some point this stream. But, now that all that's out of the way, let's talk about what I did last stream. So, where is Ultrabeat? Show me. So, I was talking about different kinds of drum sounds, different kinds of drum different kinds of drum sounds and different kinds of drum dynamics. And so I basically went up the Ultrabeat columns and everything that is sort of integral for building a percussion part, and a little bit and a few auxiliary things. I just beatboxed in using different kind of sounds. So this is me going. Then I have another kick higher up that's me going like yeah. See, this kick sounds like I have this it kind of, it's like a stock Logic kit that I run through a bunch of samples, and one of them is like, you know, this really tight like tape delay, and this sort of sounds like that. I think I used it in like the Brave cover in like Monsters Nearby, but that just me going like just sort of had that effect to it, I guess. So I did kicks, I did snare clicks, and then 2 different snares. Like, that's just me going. I tune these things down a little bit, but I also have a clap. That's just me clapping a couple times. And then instead of toms, I literally did that. So I have, you know, those. I did t and ch is the hat sounds. Those sound the most voicey out of all of these. You know. But you know, they sound pretty like industrial when they're put together. And I'm digging that. I'm really blowing out the levels here. I'm gonna put a compressor on this just so it doesn't kill everybody's speakers. So yeah, that's what that sounds like. Okay, so these are all basically trash, because I pulled all of the stuff that I need out of them. So I'm just gonna get rid of all of these. I don't need any of that. Need none of that. I don't need any of this. You can go. Be gone. Alright. So now, we just got... Oh, there's a rise. I don't need any of this shit. None of it. Alright. So here's the Ultra Beatbox patch. When I'm done with this library, when I'm done with the stuff I do today, and if there's any other assets that I want to throw into this, this will go up for archivists on Patreon as just like a thing you can download if you have Logic. And I'll just include the samples and like a MIDI map showing where to put them if you just want to rebuild, if you just want the samples and want to rebuild it. But yeah. We have our Ultra Beatbox. What? I want to play a... Does it have multi-output? Yeah. Okay, so I should be able to... I want to do a little bit of mixing here. Or should I? I'm going to make recording this easier. I don't want to do too many things out of order. But... let's just lay down a beat. All right. Yeah. Alright, so I would want... Let me go into the... Yeah. And then can I give them tracks? No, I don't want mail. No. Let's make tracks for these three, even though there's nothing going to them right now. Just so I can have different tracks to play stuff onto. Right? Then I join these, and then... Whoa. Well, no. I'll join... Whoa. Oh, I won't join this yet. Alright, got that. Put that every 4 bars. Or 8, I guess. I'm not fucking counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's right. Alright. Where's the snap? That's not mine. Where's the snap? There it is. Alright. I think it was after this one. After this one. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Alright, so I'll do that. So this is all beatboxing, but it's sampled beatboxing. Let's do a couple more tweaks here just on this loop. Yeah. All right. Oh. All right. Let's see. What can we start with? I feel like the first place to start would be a bass. And I kind of think that I could sample one. And I might be able to put it in this kit. Let's see if I can do this. And what I'm thinking is just like, if I just go, or something like that. I might be able to just like sample something like that into the top end of Ultrabeat. Because what Ultrabeat has, when you go too high up in it, it has like bass samples. So I wanna take that. So let's find a note. What is the note that this starts on? I want to say it's C. It is C. Whoa. Boo, 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 boo. Alright, let me close this. Boo, 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 boo. I could probably do. Could have gone longer, but I didn't want to be unnecessary. All right, so let's take this. We're gonna take we're probably gonna make this a sample, and then tune it down like within Ultrabeat, because that would let me keep the same like resolution and shit without artifacting this before it hits the sequencer. One more, just so I can get myself with like full camera, just on camera. I started that one bad. Not using either of those. Okay, so let's go back to this. I want to auto-tune this because I want this to be a really solid tone. So let's go into pitch correction, and let's make this an initial. Oh, I can't. Welcome to fucking Escus. Alright. So let's take this and let's bounce this in place, which I believe is, yeah. And I'm gonna name this bass. Alright. So now we have a bass sample. It's stereo. I'm gonna find it in the library. Oh, well. I'm gonna find it in the library here. Bass. Bass. Alright. Synth bass sample. We're gonna just make this. Oh, there's a gate. Whoa. I don't know there's a gate. Okay. So here's our bass sample. And I'm gonna bring it down to F. Because it's actually G. And I don't hear it. And I don't hear it. Okay. What's going on here? Is this on? Not hearing it. Interesting. There's a filter. Weird. Okay, let's try this. Let's do init sample. It looks like there's audio here. There's definitely audio here. There we go. Now, is there like something at the beginning? Oh, there is a gap at the beginning. Oh, damn it. All right. I'm gonna have to bounce that again. So let's go right up to the beginning of this waveform. Right up to it. And then let's bounce it. Bass B. Alright. Now, let's drag our sample in. Can't hear it. Why? Why? It was just there. Alright, let's try this again. Init sample. Drag our sample in. Let's select this, maybe. There we go. Easily solvable. So here's our bass. Let's tune this down. It was F, because I want it to go down a fifth. There we go. Alright, now let's bring down... Bring out the bass. Hello, Black Cat. I'm making a bass. That kind of sounds like a didgeridoo. Okay. Let's see. So we got some bass. And I have it so if you hit it really hard, it does that, you know, that didgeridoo thing. If you hit it softer, it just goes right into the tone. Alright, so we can also crush this. Yeah. So yeah, this is very simple. I could take, I'm gonna do a little bit of a cutoff to take the, just the highest of the buzz off. See. There we go. Now the louder it gets, the more high content it has. Because I put a little bit of a velocity thing on, I'm having the cutoff of the filter go by velocity. So if I turn this way down, turn this way up, hit it really soft, it's really muffled. But if I hit it real hard, it's got all that air to it. Alright, so now we have that. So we're gonna go into, now I'm gonna go into Ultra Beat, and now I'm gonna do something with these subchannels. So I wanna give this subgroup, let's see, that's 7 and 8. I don't think, okay, no, I have 7 and 8. Give me subgroup 5. And then I'm gonna go here, then I'm gonna add another track here. Right. So this here is bass buzz. Or BSBZ. Bzz. Alright, so here is where I can properly affect that bass. I want to compress the fuck out of it. Give a little bit of attack leeway. And also run it through like something like big. See you around, Eli. Okay, Okay, I want this to be mono. I do not want this to be legato, and I don't know why it's doing that. There's sometimes with samples, if you play another note after it, it tries to just shift the sample that you're playing. I don't want to do that. I want this to be... does it have a group? Because I know some of these had, like, a group that let me, like, cut them off. Group off. Okay, trigger single. Can I do multi? There we go. There we go. That's what I want. Alright, so how's this sound? Fuck. That's pretty quiet. Let's turn this up a little bit. Fuck. All right. I didn't hear that coming. I just want to do the bass line from Elemental. Fuck. Pedal, come on. Okay. That's still pretty quiet. Welcome, Mars. Let's see if I can quantize this. My buzzy bass hair. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, so far I've remade a drum loop and a bass line from Elemental with just voice samples. So this stream's going pretty well. I haven't had any like major hiccups like block me that I haven't been able to get through. It's going good. All right. Let me pull up my notes because I knew bass was on there. I have a droney bass. I kind of want to also do a plucky bass on the stream. These are very technical terms, you see. This is great. Thank you. All right. Pumpy bass. Ooh, there's another thing I can do with this. I can make this a pumpy bass. This sounds terrible. Did anyone see that thing I retweeted earlier, where it's like a mock one of those like Ben Shapiro destroys liberal, but they're like talking about like Mr. Mouse goes to Happy Fun Time Land or some shit, and they're doing the same like back and forth like, well yeah, do you think that? I never make a value judgment statement about this or that. This is what that feels like right now. I'm talking about like shit that's taken me a while to figure out, and I'm just like, ooh, let me do a pumpy, plucky bass. Ooh, God. Anyway, so usually people do stuff like this by side chaining, and so that would mean that let's take the Let's just do this track and let's do some quarter notes here. This is side chaining. Alright, so we have these quarter notes that are just solid and on the beat, hopefully. Now they are, okay. So we have this. I'm gonna send it to let's just pick a absurd bus 20. And I'm gonna call this chain. Down here, I'm gonna call it chain. I'm gonna do this as one of those things when like a math teacher shows you like a really complex, like, okay, so you do this whole formula, you do this whole thing, and then the next day she shows you, by the way, you can just take this and this and you get the same answer. And you're like, why the fuck didn't you teach us that the first time? And she's like, because you need to know what you're skipping. Anyway. This is that. So I have a side chain here. I'm just gonna call it chain. And I'm gonna like crank this chain bus here, and I'm gonna give it no output. I'm also going to give this no main output. So the only thing it's being sent to is a chain level that isn't going anywhere. So then in the compressor here, I'm going to go up to side chain, and for bus, I'm gonna go find bus 20, which is chain. And then I'm gonna go into the side chain thing here. And now I'm going to solo these two tracks. Alright, so band pass. Oh, is this trackpad just die? Or is my shit freezing? Yeah, my trackpad died. Okay. Alright, so let's make this a band pass, bring the frequency way down. Or is it party cue? Yeah. Bring the frequency way down, turn the gain way up, so it's really responsive. And then now you can see this needle, every quarter note. That's actually affecting the compression. So if I turn the release up higher, you'll hear more of a pump. Come on. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. There's no more of this. So that's one way you can do pumping basses, and I did it like that for a little bit. But there's an easier way if you want something that's more like sweepy and less like because that's good if you have really heavy percussion you want to on every sample to make room for the kick. But sometimes you just want to have something like pump, and so instead of doing a side chain, what you can do is you can put an LFO, which is a low frequency oscillator. meaning that it oscillates, it does this, at a frequency lower than you can hear. So if I desync and go the highest, that's actually not lower than we can hear. That's 200 hertz. That's actually a fucking tone. I believe that's... Oh god, what is 200 hertz? 80 hertz is E. I want to say 100 hertz is... well, 440 is A. So this would be maybe G? I don't know. But, anyway, 200 hertz is a note. Usually the most effective LFOs you'll hear are between, like, 0.1 hertz, which means, or 0.01 hertz, 0.01 times per second, to up to 20 is when you start getting a wave that we can hear. I could actually probably play with this, just to show what I'm talking about. So let's do it with let's do an LFO with a sine wave, and let's crank it. Let's make it really low. Let's make it so low. Okay, now I'm gonna crank it. Oh wait, no, I want this to be master output. So now I'm turning it up. Now you will see after about 20 or 30 hertz, we are no longer really listening to the tone of the instrument. We're listening, and you'll hear it come out more, we're listening to a solid bass tone coming out of the LFO. This sort of thing is how frequency modulation and vocoders work, in a sense, sort of. It's massively, you know, there's a whole lot to that, but LFOs are best when they are at a frequency that is low, meaning under 20 hertz. You can also sync them to the beat, and so if I sync it to a quarter note, what the effect I'll get is this. Play it. All right. So now we got a pump. All right, so we have a pumpy bass, and we can tone that in when we want. I'm gonna make a little smart channel thing down here, and I'm gonna... I don't know what I want to put on it. Electric piano 8. Generic wood 8. Give me like the fewest knobs. Oh, that's an XY. I don't want that. Clav? No. Okay, give me aux channel. There's a whole lot of stuff there. Give me general black 8. No, general... See, I wanna... Okay, now I'm just too concerned with, like, aesthetics. I don't need to be. Alright, let's make this control... let's map this to... depth? Yeah. And, yeah, so now we have that, and if we want to make it a pumpy bass, we can do that. So, wait, is this tied to this? No? Wait, external assignment? No, it's not taking it. It knows. Okay, whatever. Can I just hit auto? No. Alright, so this thing isn't going to cooperate as much as I want it to, but that's fine. So we have that goal out of the way. It is now 3:25. And I could do a plucky bass, and I would do that much the same way that I did this one. only I don't really have to use mouth sounds for it. That one's good to be buzzy, but let's see, what can I use as a bass? What's got some resonance to it that I could use as a bass? Because the one thing I could think is just like... But I feel like I've sampled enough. I feel like this could be where I transition into talking about synths. So let's find the simplest synthesizer that Logic has. Let's make a bass with it. So let's go into software instrument, and I think the simplest thing would probably be EFM1, ES1, synthesizer 1. Let's do that. Let's make it stereo. No. Let's make it mono. This is a very bare bones bass, you see. All right. So here I've played with this before. There's a whole lot of shit going on here. Oh my god, there's so many things going on with this interface. Let me blow it up. I'll blow it up for you. It's big. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I don't know if I want to actually use this one for just for the purpose of explaining shit. How about synthesizer 2? See, now, if you thought synthesizer 1 was complicated, oh fuck, wait till you see synthesizer 2. Let's not get too far into that. So, vocoder synth, that's the sampler. Retro synth, that's kind of simple. Sculpture synth, oh boy, sculpture synth is something fucking else. I'll explain that one eventually. Maybe I should do a stream where I do nothing but look through presets of like the different like built-in plugins of Logic, because there's a lot of shit that you can do quite a bit with. Let's go with, what's ESM? Monophonic synth? This is simple. I like this. Let's talk about this. Alright. So we got a really simple setup going on here. Let me take some quick look over all this that's going on. Alright, so we have a couple simple sections here. This main big wheel here, this you know, GameCube A button of a control here, is the thing that affects the character of our wave. Meaning, is it a saw wave, or is it a square wave? Saw wave, or is it a square wave? This is not really affecting anything that low. So, that's one character. We can also adjust the octave that these notes are in, so I'm hitting one key, 8, 16, 32. And that's basically, I feel like that's, like those are just octaves, those are steps. But, they're also, I believe this comes from, like, organs, where they refer to harmonics, or they refer to undertones, I believe. But, you know, 8, 16, 32, the smaller number is higher. And I'm not quite sure why that one is, but let's keep with 16. Alright, so there's a glide here, and glide is, you know, just the little glide between pitches. So if I turn that off... Okay. It's a very long glide. set it about there. Yeah, so that's what glide does. Cutoff is where on, essentially it's if you took an EQ like this, where you have the whole spectrum of lows to, see how it's moving up there? Cutoff is when you take all the frequencies above what you need. So I'm 2 octaves up. Bass lines very rarely move past like 2 octaves up, but I can just take out all the extra harmonics that are going to interfere with stuff. I can just take all that out. Doesn't need to be there. That's what cutoff does. It's essentially taking a high frequencies and deciding nothing above this frequency, nothing above 600 hertz. Don't play that. And, you know, having a curve, being generous about, you know, how much of that you remove at once, which you can be very, very strict with, or very lenient with. But cutoff is basically a one-size-fits-all knob that does that job. So if you didn't have headphones, you didn't hear that. You heard my key hitting the thing. But if I turn this all the way up, that's buzzy. And when you hear stuff doing the wah-wah thing, you know, bass lines that do that go womp, womp, womp. What you're hearing is cutoff. So it's this little guy here. All right. The other part of cutoff is resonance, and that is actually controlled by, you know, if I make this a stricter curve, resonance is basically the cue here. Before you have it dip, you can bring up a little bit of sound before it, because it sort of tricks your ear into hearing like there's a trajectory of upward harmonics when you're cutting all of it out afterward. So if you know, if you start in the higher end of it and start to brighten just before you cut it off, you can sort of trick out the illusion that you're cutting out a lot of signal. So what that means, though, is that you have a very resonant peak if you crank this. So if I turn the resonance all the way up and move the cutoff back and forth, kind of like with the LFO, you can hear that, like really high, kind of whistling up there. Yeah, so you don't want to have too much of that, because no matter what note you play, it's gonna be playing that cutoff, that resonant peak along with it, and you don't want that. So we'll turn the resonance down a little bit, and turn the cutoff close to high. All right. So now we have our filter section here, and this has velocity, which determines basically, if I'm very quiet, it's going to sound like this. If I'm very loud, it sounds pretty much the same. If I turn velo up, okay, what if I turn velo down? I think what it's doing is this controls, what is int? I want to say it's initial, but this ain't really doing much. Alright, well, there's the same 3 settings here, with volume. And so I can turn the decay down, and this is gonna, the decay is the fall of a sound after it's hit. So I want this plucky. So velocity is gonna affect the decay, I believe. And then there's an overdrive thing here at the end. Can I make this like mono? Or it is mono. Wish I knew what this filter was doing. Alright. This is not actually the synth to be making a plucky thing, but I have now explained basically, you know, the parts of synths. This is an ensemble synth. I don't think I've ever played with this before. And it looks like it's more for pads. So I'll leave this to the pads. Let's see. I think retro synth might be the easiest one to do for this, because it's got a lot going on, but it's got all stuff we've talked about. Alright. So I don't want any LFO. I don't want any of that right now. I just want one sound, one saw wave, and I want to be able to control the envelope down here. So here's this envelope. There we go. That's plucky. Alright. So let's adjust the cutoff and the resonance up here. There we go. Add a little sign into it. Alright. Turn the volume up a little bit. Alright, so that's pretty solid. I don't want 16 voices, I want a mono voice. I don't want two voices stacking, I want one. And I don't want the voice to be detuned or spread. I want this to be very mono. Right. So we have this synth bass, this really simple synth bass here, and what I can do, it's kind of soft. It might need a little bit of amplification, you could say, and I could just turn that up. I could just turn the thing up, the gain here. Could just turn the gain up. But I could also do something different with amplification. I'm gonna go into Logic's bass amp and put a direct box on it. and it's fucking off. There we go. So yeah, there's our fucking plucky bass. Alright, so we're gonna turn the double of it an octave up. Just to give it a little bit of that, you know, kind of bassy overtone. Alright. And a little bit of sine wave. Just to give it that tone. And yeah, let's stack two voices. So here's our plucky bass. And one thing that you can do with plucky basses is arpeggiate them. And usually arpeggiators are when you have a chord. Let's duplicate this so I have everything. Yeah, let's duplicate this, but let's choose a different instrument. Let's choose the sampler. And if I play a chord into the arpeggiator, you're gonna see. It's loading. And take the bass amp out. So this is meant to arpeggiate chords. What I'm playing right now is just you know. That's what arpeggios are meant for, but you can also have them repeat one note over and over again really fast. Hello. I gotta type. This ain't the pluckiest bass, though. This bass could be a little bit pluckier. There we go. I'm gonna turn up a little bit of the... Let's kill a little bit of the... like 500, maybe a little bit of like 300. All right. Now I can add a glide to this. This is really loud, I'm sorry. Let's put another compressor on this just to limit it. But yeah, you can do that. Let's bring it down to 1. I can also put this through an amp. That'll make it really plucky. But I don't want to do that. Just want direct box. Alright. We can also add a little bit of a tail to these. Okay, so I can do a... Fuck that up. 2, 3, 4. You know what I could do is I could honestly just take I don't need to fucking do that. I could just copy and paste the bass thing. Okay, and I can also transpose all of this. MIDI transform, transposition. Where'd it go? Where'd the window go? I was just not doing it. Alright. See. Oh, I don't know how to get over there. Oh, okay. Alright. I think one thing that I did for this is I drew out an ARP that was 1, 2. It's a triplet, so it's grid 1, 2, 3. Boom, da dun, da dun dun. See if it does that. Alright, so there's that. So that's a plucky bass. And I'm gonna name this pluck bass. And I'm gonna take the ARP off it. Just for my purposes. All right. So this is all shit that I made on stream last week and on stream just now. So it's 3:51. Okay. So we got a pumpy bass, we got a plucky bass. What else do I got here? Synths, bell, chime, and lead. Okay. Okay. We're gonna dive back into these synths here. I want to do all this from scratch. Sometimes when I want to do chimes and stuff, I'll take Sometimes when I want to do chimes and stuff, I'll take like a sample from Logic's library and then distort the fuck out of it and like, you know, pitch shift it and, you know, EQ it and different things so it's not really recognizable as like what it was, just so I can get like a chimier feel out of like a glockenspiel or whatever. I want to do a little bell synth that sounds like, I want to do a little bell synth that sounds like a music box or like a kalimba. See if I can figure that out. Something to that effect. So we have a monophonic synth, we have a polyphonic synth. Is there any kind of like, okay, this does not look like what you would use for a bell. Let's go back to retro synth. This definitely already sounds like I could use it for a bell. All right, so oh, listen to that. Let's turn that ARP off, just so I can... So, this is the DX7 electric piano sound, you may notice. It's a little bellier, though, than what it usually is. So, we got some bells. We want to give them a little bit of inharmonic content. And because bells tend to not have too many lows to them, we're gonna use a creamy, we're gonna use an edgy high-pass filter. How about creamy? How about sharp? That's too sharp. Creamy. Okay, that sounded like Spyro for a second there. me do my circle of fifths. Okay, as you know, the vague sound of Spyro background music has been a sort of a background character in like my musical palette. Have a good dinner, Lay. Thank you for stopping by. There's a lot of this low buzziness, and I don't think I can fix it. There's a lot of this really high shit that I don't want there. Yeah, you can see it just kind of around here. I want to make a strict curve that just takes that out. So I want to put some of those harmonics back, right? So to do that, I'm gonna use a little utility, or a little special effect here, called an exciter. I have no idea what the fuck this does. This has been, I think, you know, I've been streaming for a bit, and there's been a couple memes, and one of them is, I don't know what the fuck an exciter does. But it adds highs, essentially. So I'm cutting out around 4K? Alright, I think what I might be able to do is honestly just take like a curve like this. You know, now I'm gonna have to use the low pass filter. Didn't wanna, but I'm gonna have to. And I want it to be 20 dB lush. And I don't want the envelope to fall out. Ah, man. I don't know what to do. Maybe, yeah, band reject. Let's try this. Okay, yeah. I'm still not liking this. Still not thinking this is good enough. Okay, I think it needs... There's this, like, kind of spacey feel to this. I think that's what I was looking for. It sounds like a... Sounds like a music box. Yeah. Alright. So one thing we can do in Retro Synth is we can make this a lot wider. So we have voice stacking at 2 voices. I want to turn it up to 8. Stereo spreads all the way up. Voice detune I'm going to turn all the way up. Yeah. So we got that little tap. Ooh, I can turn the modulator up and turn the vibrato up. Alright. I think this would be rooted in the 6th? This is the, 3rd mode of harmonic minor, right? So if it's the 3rd mode of harmonic minor, then that means... I don't know what that means. Let's try to record a loop for what I have. I don't want to get too into theory right now. There we go. Alright, so we got that. Let's go to here and split. Alright, and let's go here and make sure that all these hit on beat when they're supposed to. And then also drag... Hit them on beat when they're supposed to, but drag them a little bit back. A little bit back, except the first one. First one's gotta be on beat. You don't get to have leeway. Right. All right. So that is our bell arp. And that is our bell chime. All right, cool. We got that. So that's one synth. That's one kind of padding element. Okay, another thing that you want is a pad. This is a pretty punchy beat, so I might use the pad more like a stab, but let's try to make a pad nonetheless. Okay, so we're gonna need to get rid of this ARP. Honestly, just holding them down like that is a really good pad in and of itself. But let's mess with this a little more since we're in this FM thing. Or what about sync? Let's see what's in sync. Okay, it looks a little bit different from analog. Thing with pads is you normally don't want them to come in with like too much of an attack, because you want them to sort of be backing up the rest of what's there. So I want to give this maybe like 50 milliseconds of... And I'm going to give this, the filter, like twice that, like 80. Okay, and I'm gonna give this like 82 or 90. Fuck. It's pretty patty. So this is a high pass. I want to make, yeah, this can be our high pad, and then we'll do like a low pad. Let's go back to edgy. I want to be edgy. Turn the sign up. Okay, yeah, so let's give this some modulation here. Let's make it pump. So we gotta, I think, I don't really need to do much else for this. I could explore a different synth thing. I'm just gonna duplicate this. Let's go into one of those softer synths, like the polyphonic synth. Yeah. So here we have an ADSR slider that doesn't show the actual shape of the wave, but just shows you like generic, you know, like kind of levels, like peak points that you need to know. So we're gonna have it sustain pretty slowly. Or we're gonna have it delay pretty slowly, and we're gonna have it sustain. Then the release is gonna be pretty... Need to give it a little bit of let go, but not too much. Turn the overdrive down, turn the chorus up. Because you want pads to be wide. Ooh, that sounds so 80s. Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. This sounds really 80s and I like this. Ooh, that's so warm. So, what do you do when you can't choose between two pads? Well, you make a track stack. So, and then you play them both at once. Now, to give this a little bit of flair and to mix everything together, bring back our old pal, Fat Effects, with a PH. Ramp up. All right. Okay. Let's try that. See how that fits. Okay, I got it right the first time. All right. I can't remember if this is actually the key I did this song in. I don't remember. What the fuck key is Elemental in? Up. Or what key do I do it in? Because I know I do it in a different key. Oh, are you not there? Ah. Oh, this is actually lower than I do it. Okay. Cool. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. How much 80s sound can be in this thing. Oh. I love putting 80s sound in my shit. 80s and early 90s. Early 90s drums. Well, late 80s, early 90s drums. Basically like Black Album drums are like what play in my head when I hear drum loops. And I use a lot, and I'm going to put one in this track because this is going to be a template eventually. I use a hell of a lot. See if it's the default here. Of, come on, CP80 piano. This actually. Amped. My dad actually has one of these. We have one of these in the thing next door, in the storefront next door. But it's really fucking big and really heavy. This was the touring piano. This is the piano you're supposed to be able to, you know, carry around with you, that you don't have to have wheeled out by the venue, right? No, this thing is hellish. And so I just use the samples. I don't want to set that shit up again. I would love to eventually set that up in the rehearsal space and have that just there, but we'll see. It's like my favorite thing. It's like my favorite musical thing that we own is that's this piano. And I don't even play it. it's too back there. But yeah, no, that's a piano that you'll hear all the time in the 80s. This is just a quick aside. Chorus D. If you've heard any Peter Gabriel song, I don't know it. No. When the night glows, the symbols... No. Come on. Come on. Come on. Please. I need you louder. When the night goes, the signals grow on radios. All the strange things, they come and go. It's early morning warnings. Stranded starfish have no place to hide. Still waiting for the swollen Easter tide. And as the nails sunk in the cloud, the rain was warm and soaked the crowd. I don't know how to play in this key. I'm so used to having like a huge grand piano in front of me. Anyway, that was me getting sidetracked. It's 4:22, and I have one thing left to do, and it's a lead, and I think I already did it. Because I have a, where is it? Haunt? I don't think it's Haunt. Where was it? Guitar lead, summer lead, tele rhythm. Fuck, I named it something stupid, didn't I? Do you recall that? When I pulled up the guitar track, I named it something really dumb. Let's go back to the patches. User patches. Case 2020 patches. Juicy Citrus Lead. Ah, yes. Oh, jeez. I do want to do a synth sound. but more so, I want to track in a little guitar. Because nothing's 80s without an obligatory lead guitar over a bunch of fucking synths. All right. Ooh. All right. There it is. So this starts on C. All right. Oh, I got it right that last time, almost. Let's bring these down a lot. They're very noisy. Okay. I used to think forever. I've been saying on these streams forever that I'm not really that good a guitar player. But I think after so many years of just doing this, I'm like better than I, expect to be whenever I try to play something. So it's improvement. This is so much. What would be improvement is if I could cut the fucking noise out of all of these. Okay. 20. How's the sound? All right. So we got that. Now, how much time do I have left? It's 4:31. Whatever. I need a synth lead, and then we're good. Then I can just fuck around on stream a little bit. I have to do some work to release a song tonight. There's going to be a song up tonight for patrons. It's going to be the last original song that we put up for the Green Blues. There's going to be a couple other bonus tracks that I get done and put up very soon. But it's a little acoustic track from Jared, and I'll be putting that up tonight. But let's see what we can do about a synth lead. All right. So there's this monophonic synth here, and I'm not sure how complex I can make it. But let's try. It just stops when I... No. Give me pitch bend at 2. You know, I don't know if I need... Let's just overdrive that. That's very loud. Also, why is my voice doing... Okay, stop. Is it coming through anywhere? No? Just... What? Why is my voice so phasey? Why is it doing that? That's weird. Usually, it's when it's coming through something, like, in this, but it's just kind of sounding that way. Okay, whatever. Oh. Very loud. You can come down. I'm gonna put a compressor on you. Alright, so I'm gonna use a hard compression. Logic has these, it has a default compression circuit, but it also has in every little, every one of these, like, models up here, is a different emulation of, like, a different, compressor module. And each one of them has their own characteristic, like, distortion with them. It's a very subtle difference. Cool. Oh, I did not expect that. Okay. And let's see if I can quantize that without losing its flair, because I played that really shittily. Yeah, it sounds with the guitar. Now, because this is a lead, we're going to treat it like a lead, and we're going to send it through a fucking guitar amp. So let's go with my usual, sunshiny... Let's go with shark teeth. It's going to be very loud, probably. Okay. So, yeah. Let's do that. Let's also, afterwards, let's add an exciter. It's for our highs. Yeah. Now, here's a trick. I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn the amp off of it, and I'm going to... Wait, wrong one. Oh. Redo track stack. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this one here, synth, lead, high. I'm going to take the amp off of it, and I'm going to put a transposer on it that's going to take any signal that comes into it and bring it up an octave. So that'll give me a good octave double on this, and I can go in and change the tonal quality of this. I have that running through the exciter. I'm going to turn that down a lot, and I'm going to, yeah, just leave that as it is for now. So. Yeah. All right. So now that I have this loop, I gotta do this. Let me make a vocal patch, so that way when I pull things up, it'll be easy for me to, because I have some, but they're very old. And what I ideally want is, okay, so we want pitch correction first. People usually say don't use pitch correction until after your compression, but what I like to do is have it read the pitch first before it goes into a gate. Because I don't want it to be affecting a signal after the gate's already had its, you know, attack and say and whatever. So if I turn this threshold up, eventually the amped up background noise and the phasiness will drop out of the background noise. But I use this to record, so I'm gonna turn the reduction down to, let's see, like 30 decibels instead of all. Lower the hysteresis because things get more variable with vocals. Release about 100 milliseconds usually. Then I want to have an EQ, and I want to have a compressor. You want to have your EQ before your compressor. Usually, that's the advice that's given because you can control the signal that gets sent into the compressor. So that way, if you're compressing something that has like a lot of fucking bass signal, and it's going to be like, activating on that bass signal, that's not going to be something. If you cut that out with EQ afterwards, that compressor is going to be acting on nothing, and it's going to feel like, it's going to feel weird. So it's good to have your frequency spectrum going into your compressor being what you want coming out of your compressor. I use opto compression because it gives you that thing that you hear in Fall Out Boy songs. When I turn the attack way down to 0, every time, and turn the distortion to soft. Oh fuck, Jesus, that was loud. That scared the fuck out of me. Okay. That was the first time I felt something in weeks. Okay. Anyway. It's this thing you hear in Fall Out Boy songs sometimes, where the initial consonants have this little click at the beginning of them that makes them stand out more. There's a lot of artists that do this. But this is the compressor that gives you that effect, basically. It's an opto compression with a very, very low attack. So you can slam the initial consonants of vocals. I can drive the vocal, which is usually what I do, just by turning up the ratio, which makes the attack really like buzzy. It sort of like is fighting with itself within the circuitry. And because I have like kind of a raspy voice in a lot of my ranges, it plays well with the distortion because it just adds more saturation to, like, it plays well with the saturation that my voice has, I guess, when I sing. So, I like just cranking distortion and stuff on compressors because I feel like it just, the qualities that my voice has that this can. And basically you want to do compression. The qualities that my voice has, this can just sort of accentuate them. Which, like I said at the beginning of the drum sample stream, all music is basically extending and accentuating what we're already used to. We're not really used to this phasiness, so. But I'm going to put this in a track stack so I can have it be a vocal stack. That's about all I need there. I'm going to cut a little bit out of 500 because that's like 470, a little below 500 because that's like my mic's response. I'm going to boost vocals like 3.5K because that's where my voice's presence tends to sit. And then I'm going to bring up the air like above 14K, so just a little bit of the like breath sounds, direct sounds and stuff get caught. Yeah. All right, so let me turn this down. Let me
Jag lekte boom, spöjar min ståkrom. Går in med samtidigt som mi på ett stik med Jolsson. En den om det som har när det kväfterna och då på. Hos mig och sånt det var sånt det i boss. Lekte boom, lekte ståkrom. Går jag mig hörde when the good.
I don't know the second part. I should have just done the same thing again. That would have been really impressive. Hang on. Where did I put that? Yudekti budum, spejami sugram. The jammy huragentum qua hurjua sompos. That's it.
객기 소크럼 대잠이 흐르던 그 과를 주어 손버스 And when he on the song my name the question now who do but what's me was something yeah but Imagine that's the way that they with me like the boy course What's me was something yeah boys Imagine that's the way that they with me like the boy course
Okay, I can't fucking hear myself. Because all this is so loud. I'm gonna do that again. I wanna be able to fucking hear myself through the monitor. These things are so loud. Bring that down to 7. Another thing to keep in mind is usually you don't want your signals peaking above like 8, like minus 18.
Jag räcker bom, spöjar min sokrom Går med samtidigt som mi på stig med jord som En geni om det som har närde question now do bo
Alright, let's do that again.
Jag räcker bom, spöjar min sokrom Går med samtidigt som mi på stig med jord som En geni on the som en annan question now do bo Was me was sotti ye boss Dekti boom dekti sokrom
What the fuck happened here? Why is it not playing that? Not playing my drums. Gotta do something.
Jag dekti boom, spöjar min sokrom Går med samtidigt som mi på stig med jord som En geni on the som en annan question now do bo
It's just muting it. Why is it muting it? Gotta do something. It's muting it whenever I record. Why? Okay. I need my drums.
Jag räcker boom, spöjar min sokrom Går med samtidigt som mi på stig med jord som En geni om det som en annan question now do bo Was me was something ye boss Dekti boom dekti sokrom Det gör mig hörden då går hur du var som boss En geni om det som en annan question now do bo Was me was something ye boss I threaten is the way that they with me with them do it course Was me was something ye boss Threaten is the way that they with me with them do it course Was me was something ye boss
Yeah. Alright. Now what happens when I double this? Double this.
Spöjar mig sokrom Går med samtidigt som mi på stig med jord som En geni om det som en annan question now do bo Was me was something ye boss Dekti boom dekti sokrom Det gör mig hörden de går hur du var som boss En geni om det som en annan question now do bo Was me was something ye boss Imagine is the way that they with me with them toy course Was me was something ye boss Imagine is the way that they with me with them toy course Was me was something ye boss
So I'm missing, So I'm missing all of the reverb and all of the effect buses that I normally send stuff to. Those are missing. I may do those next stream. Probably gonna do those next stream, yeah. But that, I can go over, like, extra production elements. Reverb, delays, those are important. You want, like, some kind of ambience, then you want something that can be, like, longer and more affected. Something cavernous. And then, wideners, like spreaders, like stereo spreading, like there's things you can do for that. Wideners, punchers, things that accentuate the initial transient of a sound. So like in a kick, if I want the kick to hit harder, I can run it through a puncher, and it'll take just the initial of it and like and bring that up higher than the rest of the sound. And then crushers, which you know, crush things. But yeah. So here's a version of Elemental that I built from scratch. The drums are all me beatboxing. The bass is a combination of a playing with default settings in a synth and also me just buzzing. Going bv. So we got high arps that play these, you know, or no, these are the pads. So we have a low and bright pad. Then we have a bell doing the same shift. Yeah. Then we have a lead sound that we can do lead guitar with, and a lead synth sound that we can double it with. And then a raw vocal track to go with it. So that's that. That's all I wanted to do this stream, and I did it, and it's almost 5. So now that that's done, I'm gonna cut stream. I said I was gonna do some Mimi stuff. Might not do that on stream. I might take care of that elsewhere. But it's almost 5, and I do need to get things ready to put a song out before the end of tonight. So I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna get going, and I'm gonna come back next week and make this, you know, blob of demo stuff sound really, really good, and run it through all the effects that I normally do, and explain all that. This last stream, I am like more than halfway through editing it. Editing, you know, just making the different drums. And this stream, I'm also going to edit, and I'm going to make some short YouTube videos of, you know, building my whole library from scratch in a 3 to 4 part series. So look out for that. Is there anything else I want to mention before going? So I've probably gone on. I don't know if I've gone on about this on stream about furries. But let me all that aside. Apparently, the What Pumpkin crew, like Andrew Hussey and Andrew Hussey's posse, were at Further Confusion in California this weekend, and apparently they hung out with Sonic Fox. They ended up at a communism-themed room party, and like there were other people that I just knew from the furry fandom, like passingly, like people that that, you know, like I would fucking, you know, like when you're in high school, and like everyone goes to the commons, and then there's like these kids that stand in like circles and they just like talk. Like that's basically also what furry con floors are like, if you get certain parts of them. And I remember walking up to one of those circles. There were some people there. And then fucking like 2-3 years later, one of those people posts a selfie with Andrew Hussey at a furry convention, and I'm like, oh boy, the universe is collapsing. And it's great. And if anybody knows my fucking, you know, furry internet agenda that I would talk about like 2 years ago, look around you. Ha! That was evil. But the world will become furry, mark my fucking words. Anyway. I'm gonna play this one more time and sign off. Furry world domination is imminent. Okay. I need my drums.
Mjodek ti bum, stojam i sukrom Kurime sam dhe gjomi po e stit me jutësum Në gjeni om në qomë e nani quest në hudu po Was me was so Gjipos Dek ti bum, dek ti sukrom Dhe gjemi hërgjën të kër hërgjë was pos Në gjeni om në qomë e nani quest në hudu po Was me was something, gjipos Treqen e se vejtën e vejtë e këntoj i kolës Was me was something jibos I treqen e se vejtën e vejtë e këntoj i kolës Was me was something jibos
Cool. All you guys have a good week. Take care. I will see you around. Good luck out there. Keep climbing. Do not look down.